Hi there and welcome to my AI tribe. Not artificial intelligence, no, but the AI tribe. That means actually the anonymous idiots, the ex-idiots, the previous idiots, the ones, including myself, who thought I was surrounded by idiots when, however, sometimes I actually found the idiot in the mirror. Happened to me many times. When I was younger, it was painful, it was disastrous, and I didn't always do the right thing towards other people. Why? Well, I didn't understand them. So now I am giving as much value as I possibly can when it comes to teaching other people in how to understand each other, how to understand those who actually sometimes cannot be understood. Those who cannot be understood, that's right, yeah. What is an anonymous idiot? That is somebody who takes some therapy, who talks about the things that put him in or her in trouble. And that is what we are doing here in this channel, surrounded by idiots. So very much welcome. And to begin with, I will let you in on a little secret. There are people around you who are silent, calm, very controlled. Sometimes they seem almost like stone statues. They usually don't say much, and they have this almost bizarre self-control. Silent, observant, factful, detail-oriented. They like to measure things very well and to find out the exact number of everything. Why? Well, why not? Huh? And they are very well organized. Sometimes you, well, me too, to be honest, would like to know their secret a little bit more. Why? Well, it's obvious that they know exactly what they're doing basically all of the time. Slowly but surely they strive towards their goal, whatever that might be. Not that they tell us. No, because they have no need to talk about things unless you ask them. And they seem to be so cool, never reacting very much. Very often kind of stone-faced, looking at you like this. Sometimes you want to shake them and see if anybody's home, but you don't. Observing, analyzing the surroundings, conscientious, diligent, systematic, correct. And yes, even though we might be a little bit impressed by all of this, they also make us feel a bit uncertain. Maybe even they make you feel a bit insecure, because you really don't know what they're up to, because they don't tell you. Sometimes you envy them, because they seem to remember everything. Now, there's nothing wrong with being you as you are, and maybe there's nothing wrong with your memory either. I don't know who you are. What I do know is, you're just not like that. You're not that extremely organized, all right? You're just not like that. You're not that extremely organized all the time, measuring things top, bottoms down and everything, you know. You don't go around with this thing in your pocket all the time, in case you need to measure something in millimeters or tenth of a millimeter. No, you don't. I have a confession to make. I would also love to have that total control over things, but I don't. Every little detail in my life in check. It would be great to never forget anything. I mean, how cool shouldn't that be? Or to never make mistakes. Or to never have a slip of the tongue and accidentally saying something that might or might not be totally true. That would be nothing but awesome, right? So who are these people? Where do we find them? How can we get to know them? Is there something to learn from all of this? How can we get that perfect? It is my pleasure to introduce you to the blue people. According to disc theory, the blue ones are the introverted and task-oriented types. Distant, correct, reflective, methodical, logical, structured, always seeking for the best quality possible. Some blues I meet, they seem to know everything. Regardless the topic that comes up on the table, they have something to comment about it. Because, why? Well, because they read this article 3 years ago. Or they saw this documentary when they were 9. And you know what? They seem to remember it. Or, which actually happened to me, they had their own YouTube channel where they just so happen to be specified on the very specific topic that I just tried to look like I knew something about. I mean, how annoying is that? Talk about making a fool out of yourself. Sure, all blues don't know everything. Of course they don't. That's a no-brainer. But the thing with them is that when they don't know, they don't say anything. That's the difference between blue and, well, basically the other colors. They don't say anything unless they have something to say. And if they are not sure about, well, say some facts, they just shut up. Remember this. If they don't have something of importance, according to their own high quality standards, nothing to say there, they won't tell you. They just don't say anything at all, ever, to you, or me, or somebody else. But they are thinking constantly. I had a colleague many years ago, gravely blue colleague. I found her at her desk one time, sitting actually with her finger on the keyboard of her computer, like this. For a very long time. And I was sitting over there, you know, with a cup of coffee, watching her, observing while she was doing this. Just in there, didn't move, just did this. And I got a bit curious, so I kind of strolled over with a coffee in my hand and I said, "Hi there, what are you working on this week?" And she said, "Well, I'm checking how many rows there are in Excel." And I said, "Can't you Google that?" And she said, no, this is how it should be done, you know, you have to do it by yourself. She was just scrolling, you know, scrolling Excel just to see where the bottom was. And I said, "Well, have you tried Control N?" No, this is the way it has to be done. This is the right way to do it. Everybody knows this. Okay. I mean, she couldn't use the computer to anything else. She had to kind of work around it because the laptop itself, that was kind of occupied by her finger, you know. I mean, 1,048,576 rows. Now you know that too. Aha. There you go. Question, what are you going to do with this information? Why, that is interesting. Really? Is that really interesting? That's a bloody big document, you know. That's a huge Excel sheet, 1 million rows. And that's the beauty of the blue streak, you know. Everything is really interesting. Come to think of it, my father, the engineer, 88 years of age, sharp as a knife in here, so sharp. Reads books all the time. He watches Discovery Channel all night long, never sleeps. He's interested in everything is interesting. He's into everything. I can start a discussion based on basically whatever, and he will know something about it. It's really impressive. I hope I will be as sharp at 58 as he is at 88. He worked until he was 78 because he had so much to contribute with as an engineer. Anyways, he turned 78 last summer. And my sister and I, we gave him this telescope to watch the stars with. Observing Venus, the planet Saturn, you know, which he does because he can scroll the sky because, well, never mind, that's not the point. The point is we got talking about the space, you know, and I said, and in Sweden we have this, we got talking about space and space rockets and astronauts, and in Sweden we have this astronaut called Christer Fuglesang, who for some reason went to space a couple of times. How much is a couple of times? It's more than 2, less than many. Let's say 3 times, which I told my father, the engineer. I said, well, Christer, he has been to space 3 times, I said. On which the engineer said, no, he hasn't. He has been to space twice. And considering his high age, he's actually 60.5 years of age, it's highly unlikely he will enter space a third time. This last time he was up there in space, however, he performed the heaviest lift in the history of mankind in weightless conditions, 800 kilograms. So now you know that too. There you go. Question: what are you going to do with this information? Why, this is interesting now, isn't it? Really? Is this interesting? I'm not so sure. Side story. Then I asked the engineer, my own father, how do you weigh something in weightless condition? And then he told me. Because, of course, he knew that too. Let's be serious for a little while. Let's talk about this almost unnatural, inhuman proclivity for detail. I have mentioned a couple of times the Blues are in full control of things. Okay, so far, so good. But how did they get there? That is true. However, to gain that control, you have to invest quite some time in finding the right data, or whatever you would like to call them. To understand something to 100%, you have to go deep, right? When you really dig into something to find it out, it's going to take you some time. You have to spend many hours reading, checking facts, doing a lot of research and so on and so forth. Here lies a problematic trap for the Blues. As they are task-oriented, as the Reds are interested in the end result. The Blues are more interested in the process itself, which means the process can take as much time as needed. Now please pay attention to this, not as much time as negotiated, but as needed according to their own standards. The road is everything, the goal is nothing. The goal is nothing, the road is everything. And this is a bit of a problem. What does this mean for the rest of us, which is called the reality? It means it doesn't matter if they stretch the deadline far beyond any reasonable measures. 50%, or 100%, or completely don't give a damn about any deadlines. Quality is all that matters. Quality is everything. If it will take some extra time, so be it. And when the project goes to hell in the handbasket, that perfectionism can kill the whole thing. Perfectionism is a dangerous enemy if you really want to get somewhere. Herein lies a bit of a conundrum. We all laugh at the pedantic types, but we would love to buy a used car from him or her because we know they have taken good care of it. So it's a bit of a paradox in here, right? It's complicated. How do you balance this need for maximum quality? Put in positive terms, or crazy obsession with details? Put in realistic terms, with actually achieving a result of any kind. Any result would do. The key is probably to not leave the blue guy completely alone for too long. We should probably have somebody to check in on him once in a while and just see how he's progressing. I'm not saying no Blues ever finishes anything. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying they will take their time. If you haven't really agreed on the terms, on the deadline, you're about to mess it all up. That's only the beginning of your problems. If you let the Blues dictate the timeline in any project, you're in trouble. However, what if you would like to go blue-ish? I mean, the good parts. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, to get a bit more orderly is never wrong. And to find the things where you left them, that could save you a huge amount of time in your life. I read a study claiming we spend 2.5 years in our lives looking for things and maybe not opening your mouth until you actually know what you're going to say. That could save you some headache. Here are my 3 tips on how to go a bit in the blue direction without digging yourself down to the groundwater all the time. Number 1, plan. Now, take it easy. I'm not asking you to plan every detail from now until retirement. No, but to make some plans can actually save you some time. Don't go to the hardware store to buy stuff when you're redecorating your home. Instead, sit down at the kitchen table with your partner and say to each other, okay, what is it that we're doing? What we're supposed to do? And write it down. Take the list with you. Number 2, check your facts.
88 years of age.
If you heard something on social media, before spreading it like a coronavirus, do some quick fact checking. You don't have to get a PhD in anything, but just do some fact checking. Right. Number 3, instead of letting your emotions completely control you when something happens that you didn't expect or didn't want to happen, take a step back, train yourself to ask this question: what is good with this situation? There's nothing wrong with emotions or feelings, but sometimes they put us in even more trouble than necessary, and you know exactly what I'm talking about now. Just ask yourself this analytical, bluish kind of question: what is good with this situation? Who knows what you might find? I don't think I can put it in any better way. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this interesting, please share it with your friends or push that subscribe button and make sure that you know when the next video is put up there. I'm trying to spread the message about how we are wired, and welcome, very much warm welcome to my AI tribe, the Anonymous Idiots. I am an Anonymous Idiot, and I'm training myself every week to learn more about you and the rest of the people in the world. I think it's good to understand each other more. Thank you for tuning in, and be safe. Take care. Bye bye.